The AI craze might be bad for some of your investments long term. Let me tell you why. The AI rally has been happening for a while, but the big beneficiary of it right now is a company called Nvidia. Now, Nvidia is a chips maker, but they've really come to embody Wall Street's entire obsession with AI. The simple explanation for that is that Nvidia owns the most powerful GPUs, the graphic processing units, that are going to allow us to have access to the AI that requires a lot of juice to get going. Nvidia's on a tear. Their market cap hit over $1 trillion today, one of 9 firms to ever do that. Their earnings were incredible, whatever. That's now impacted the entire tech sector, particularly any and every company that has ever even mentioned or thought about AI. So much so that we're now seeing companies reallocating their budgets so that they can fund their own internal AI initiative. But the problem with that, and this is something I got from a Morgan Stanley note today, is that these companies aren't like increasing their overall budgets. They're just reallocating. So if a company is taking money out of a service that they've previously been able to make profitable and putting that money into AI, that may not be good for that company when it comes to the 2024 story, even if it's good for them right now because they can ride this AI wave. So if you are investing in an ETF or an index fund that tracks smaller or mid-cap tech stocks, those stocks could be impacted by that. Right now, the S&P is being held up by a very small basket of companies, the big tech names that we know really well. If you have what's called a narrow rally and it's dependent on only a couple of names, then that leaves you really vulnerable to any potential missteps at those companies. Like if something weird happens with Apple and they have to get a new CEO, that could end up tanking the entire S&P 500 just because Apple's valuation and market cap is so big that it has a huge weight on the overall S&P 500. And based on the valuation that we saw Nvidia hit today of $1 trillion, we could see some AI-driven firms get into that same weight class as the Apples and Googles. And by some, I do really just mean Nvidia, like they're the clear winners here. But the long-term question will be whether or not these companies can have the revenue growth, the cash flow to support those valuations, and whether the companies that are suddenly pouring money into AI actually make any use of that.